Oh, there we go. How you doing, Bill?
Well, I'm excited to be here. Little
Yeah,
technical difficulties.
I know, right? It says we're live. I don't know what was special about. We're just wait. We had this new software here, and it was saying that I thought it was going to make us into a cartoon or something.
I feel like my shirt's making me kind of psychedelical to this afternoon. It could be the heat in Texas. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So how is Texas out there?
104 was our high today again, so it's just becoming a normal thing the last week we've been on.
It's been getting hotter than that too, right?
Yeah, and apparently it's going to stay this way for at least the next couple days, weeks. It's going to be 108. Wow. They say on Sunday. So
and how's excited. The humidity? How's the humidity with that?
It hasn't been. Honestly, I want to say it hasn't been bad, but trying to stay out of it. Early mornings are the best time to get out, like 7 a.m. Yeah, if you're it's still 80. It was 84, I think, this morning or something stupid. So
well, thanks again for coming on. I know you're always busy. The way you talk, how staffing never ends for you, right? It's 7 days a week, probably, right?
It is right now. It's a crazy time out there, and it's funny. I had a couple calls this week with some other owners and groups that I'm involved in, and everybody. There's definitely an uptick and a change, and the jobless numbers. The report came out, today, and it was about 6,000 less. It was about 6,000 less than what they estimated. So I just think it's steady, and it just seems, again, going back to the numbers, we're not necessarily creating new jobs right now. What we're doing is stealing from Peter to pay Paul. And so I think people feel confident that they can make a change and make a move. And so there's opportunity. I think there's still a lot of unknown about AI, and especially new positions and companies. What are they going to do? How are they going to expand? But there's a lot of activity going on, and I just it's very, very strong. This is Do
you see within the staff with your company at this time of year? Does it let's figure the next quarter. What's it going to be like? Do you predict? Do you see it growing or?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this trend for 3 quarters in a row, and I think we've talked about this before. The 3 quarters kind of went where the first month of a quarter, it kind of it's decent. The second month, it's a lot more activity. August has been amazing, but what we're seeing going into September, it's going to be it's going to be a trend. 4 quarters of that in a row normally leads to 18 months, 24 months of growth is what we see. So. That's the opposite of what we saw in 2025. Again, I think the feeling everybody has out there right now is that much more positive about making a change, looking at opportunities, but companies are still holding back. They've definitely upped the level of what they're looking for. They're not willing to just take anything, and so. They also don't want to let people go if the AI thing works or doesn't work. And I'm talking about small, middle business, mid-size, large enterprise operations. We're hearing a little bit different of things. It's a little bit more of the AI isn't working out like we thought, but we're not necessarily going to pull the trigger. And I think that's where we're seeing this gap take place, that entry level, that coming in out of college, that growing into something, they're not jumping in as heavy as they are taking a look at the top end, high loading it, because they have a lot of people bailing, a lot of people deciding, hey, let's make a change. And you got small and mid offering up more money because they've seen their profits rise and everything else. But then we look at interest rates, and the company's having problems with that. And I don't know. There's just a weird set of dynamics, and it's really unusual. Different pockets in the country are also very much affected. I mean,
Bill,
the South.
Do you get calls from like the IT, from anything like with coding and all? Do you get calls from companies for staffing to be able to see if you staff for that kind of stuff? I mean, I can imagine
we do.
I know you do a lot of different things, but
we do. And what's been interesting is that what they're wanting to pay for and what they're looking to invest the money in is obviously a lot of this AI stuff in the what's called coding, no coding realm of it. We just had a situation this week. We had 2 people that were placed with a client, and they both were fired because they were doing their coding with like Claude. And so that's been, I think, a factor for companies too, is to look at the people they're bringing in, the experience, to understand, do you really bring it to the table, or is it how much hands-on versus how much from just the collegiate side or the schoolroom, and then what's the value? What are you adding? How are you making a difference? We're just in the IT sector. It's just an unusual time right now.
Right.
Specifically around IT is unusual, but there's still a shortage. So I don't know, David. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think we're going to have to weigh it out, and then you throw the cybersecurity piece on top of this right now. There's a lot of havoc around IT.
All right. Well, I got a surprise for you. Like I told you, I got a young gentleman right out of college, Bill, Penn State, and I'm going to bring Austin.
Great school. Great school there.
Austin?
Hi, David, and hi, Bill. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Austin. Glad to have you here. Excited. Welcome, Penn State. There we go. Yeah.
Well, Austin, I want to thank you for coming on. We talked last week, and I was telling Bill. I mean, let's face it, man. You graduated from Penn State. What a college, and for what you're doing for the computer engineering and all that. And I thought I'd bring you on here, and I know you wanted to ask Bill, and I love putting Bill on the spot. Because he's got a lot more experience than me. But, feel like if you want to ask him something, Austin, it's your chance here, man.
Yeah, Bill, I would love to ask you just on some advice for looking for a new job. I briefly jumped in and I heard you talking a lot about how new graduates, it's tough finding a job and they're not as going after it as much. Also, and the difficulties with AI and how it's really affecting the job market. So I would love for some advice on just typically what you would look for in a new hire and what makes them stand out rather than the rest.
Yeah, and that's really a great question, Austin, and it's something that weighs heavy on me because I think there's an interesting kind of change that's taken place right within the employment, especially new grads, and as we were just talking about before, when you're looking at IT in particular, part of that is that there's a mindset change that has to take place. Look, you went and graduated from a great college. I don't know your background. I haven't seen your resume. I don't know anything. Literally, because I'm being put on the spot here. Yeah. So all of what I'm going to say, take with a grain of salt also, because every situation is different and there's not a right answer. Mm-hmm. Part of this is about leading up to your graduation, right? And so yourself, other individuals. Look, I went to a great college. I came out of this college. I have a great degree. Your degree's in what's your degree in?
Computer engineering.
Okay, computer engineering. And if you look back and you think about the differences between, for example, computer engineering and computer science. Mm-hmm. Let's use two examples. Then you need to kind of look at fundamentally the core schedules. What was your core, focus? And then you got to look at your passion of what you did. The big thing that we're seeing that's being missed is that you went to this great school, you got a great degree, but what do you have to show hands-on? Did you do some internships? Did you do something along the way to not only come out of there with a degree that's on a piece of paper, but to actually show in the real world what you were doing along the way? And I don't know anything, and I'm not asking you to answer these questions. A lot of people that we see today concentrated so heavily on the college portion of it that they miss that out. They come out and they have absolutely no experience. And the employer today, depending on the different area, is looking at, look, I don't, number one, have time to ramp. I need someone to come in and jump in here. And then how are you going to differentiate yourself between what you bring to the table and this other individual over here? And there's the story in the past of, I went to Harvard and I have blah 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 and all of this stuff. And look, you just went to Penn State. I don't know. I'm just going to use an example. And just because of the college doesn't make the difference. But that individual that went to Penn State instead, that full 4 years was working a job at the same time, and then they were trying to also do their skills, and they donated with these internships that they were working on, and they come to the table and are able to show someone, here's a dossier of my experience and my background. You know what? I'm going to take the Penn State person over the Harvard person because of that reason. That's what the companies are looking for today on the grads coming out. And so when I hear individuals, especially the recent college grads, come out and go, there are no jobs, nobody's hiring for the college grads, I always peel it back. To say, we need to take a look at what everybody's not like that. And so what's your story? So as you're trying to go and look for something new, you have to remember that part of what your plan is something that they didn't teach you in college, and that is to tell your story. You're going to need to be able to articulate your story about what makes you different than the other 2,000 applicants, right? So one of those factors may be, and I don't know where you're located, but let's just say you're in Raleigh. Let's say you're in Raleigh, right? I don't know. And there's a position that's an entry level. They're looking for recent grads. It's everything about you, but it's located in Nebraska. You have to today be of the mindset to understand I have to follow and go after that wherever it may be. If you really are serious. Now, if you're like, I am not leaving Raleigh, that's all there is to it. I only want to work 20 miles from my home. That's fine. And understand, like, I have reasons why I can't leave. Totally get it. 100%. But you can't be pissed off at the world that you're not finding a job.
Yeah.
But you have to have realistic expectations. Yeah. So while you're in your hunt to go find an opportunity, you have to take, like, you look fantastic. Like, you're on your dress tie. You make me look bad, right? You have to get up every day and look at your hunt to go find something as a full-time job. Yeah. And you look like a young individual and professional that would do something like that. So your morning should start like 7 a.m. and you should be on LinkedIn, and you should be sending your information out and following up and have activity and making connections with individuals that are similar to roles that you want. You should be looking at companies and have a list, your top probably 25 companies that you want to be involved in. You should be watching those companies when they announce, like, a new hire comes on, as an example. I'll give you, everybody here, a little tidbit. When you have a company that you want to go to work for, and you're watching and monitoring, and you start seeing they're hiring, you know what you should do? You reach out to that person that was just hired. Connect to that person that was just hired with the company and say, hey, Austin, I noticed you just got a job at XYZ company. I've been following them, and my background is blah, 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 and I've been trying to get in. Could you just tell me how that hiring experience was, or what did you do different to get their attention? I'm having so much trouble. There's so much noise out here with everybody looking. I would appreciate it. You'll be amazed at how people will help you. Yeah. They won't necessarily open the door for you, but what they'll do is guide you in the right direction so that you stay on the rails. And so everyone is different and unique, but I will tell you that field you're in on entry level, you would think would be, geez, 10 years ago it was easy, right? Yeah. They were hiring left and right. It's changed, and it's not your fault, but you have an incredible education that you have worked hard to get. You have an incredible degree now. The other fundamentals of it, I don't necessarily know, but I will tell you from an agency executive search firm standpoint, companies are not spending the money to hire us to bring individuals like you to them. And that's difficult to understand until you realize that they're looking for a return on their investment on me. And if I can't show them where you're going to bring, it doesn't make sense for them to do. The other part of that is that realistic salary expectations are really, really important today. Right. And I think, unfortunately, that a lot of individuals getting out of school, you first of all, look, you went to an incredible college, and it cost a lot of money. And you would think that you're coming out of there would correlate. And sometimes it doesn't. It just doesn't happen. I can say that our daughter went to TCU, which is an incredible school in Fort Worth, and I know how much we paid for her to go there. And yet the first job in that industry, which was media, was like $19 an hour. And that's a hard pill to swallow. Yeah. And it doesn't make sense, right? But she had to cut her teeth to get to where she's at, to get to the six figures, and that's part of that path. And sometimes, unfortunately, unrealistic expectations can hinder you. And again, I don't know the experience. I don't know all of that, which is a whole much longer conversation for you to have. But those would be things that would probably resonate to me to explain to you, and then to so many others. And I know there are people that are going, That's BS. That's not true. I'm not going to do that. Right. But it is, guys. It is true. Company's not going to pay you six figures when you come in without experience, unless I don't know, you're a dentist, right? But guess what? They've got experience. They're walking in with a degree, a license, that they've been working on people. They're ready to go to work. And by the way, there's a 4-year shortage. And so you have to be realistic about what you're looking for, and then get creative with what you're doing and be dedicated to what you do every single day. But one of those tips, those companies that you're looking at, look at the recent hires and connect with them. Don't try to connect to the CEO. Okay. And then don't show up, guys, everybody. Don't show up at a company and walk in the door and want to talk to HR. I'm going to tell you something. HR departments in companies are scared right now. Yeah. They're very scared. And the reason is that there are too many people out there today that are ridiculously bold and very unprofessional. They're not going to come, and especially large companies, they're not going to come walking out. Now, most likely security will come out and ask you to leave. Yeah, they'll take your resume and you're never going to hear from them again. Be professional, and you can be aggressive in a manner of asking things, but you can't be too aggressive, everyone. You can't. Companies don't hire people that are desperate. They don't want to talk to people like that. They're under an enormous amount of stress also. We all are in this industry right now because we're trying to appease as many people as possible. And so just be very cautious of the way, and I'm not saying you're going to do that either. Just be very cautious, follow their directions, look at the website. If they say submit. If you don't hear from them within a given time frame, at least a week, send an email, send it through their direct contact. If you've connected with these people on LinkedIn, and especially, guys, look, you should be on LinkedIn and applying to those jobs and connecting. Austin, I'm going to put you on the spot. How many connections do you have on LinkedIn?
About 80.
Okay, you need 500, brother.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to get to 500, everybody. I am telling you, it's huge. How do you get there? Again, make your list of companies, follow the companies. You can connect with HR people, that's fine. But look at the new hires. Ask them about that experience. Ask them about what did they do? How was it? Any advice you could give? Mm-hmm. You would be amazed at how people will help you. But get to 500 on your connections. Yeah. Follow through. Don't just like things on LinkedIn. Comment. Yeah. Make comments and do it.
I do it all the time.
Do it in batches. Do it in a batch, like 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Warm up. Think of it as like warming up the engine before you really start to kind of go into attack. And then when you do connect with somebody at the company, don't automatically hammer them with, hey, I'm trying to apply, I'm trying to get in the company, I'm trying to blah, blah. That's a turnoff, right? Be respectful and understand that it's difficult. Today, I was telling David this earlier, I've been on back-to-back calls and interviews all day. I got 600 emails I haven't been able to get to yet. And I've already cleared through like 300. And then my LinkedIn messages are through the roof. It's difficult. And I'm not trying to make excuses for people, but just have empathy because that's what you're going to expect from them to do for you also. I don't know if any of that, hopefully some of that helps you a little bit.
No, Bill, that was great advice, and I really appreciate you for taking the time to really dive deep into that question and answer it. So
I went in a lot of different directions. So hit me with another one. What do you got? You got another one?
I know you got one more.
Yeah, I would love to know, like, once I'm in the in the workforce, what can I take to really like take those next steps and really succeed? Like you guys seem like very successful men, and me at a young age, I want to get to that point. And I feel like if I start like now, I can reach that point a lot quicker.
A really great question, Austin. I wish there was like one simple answer, but I'm going to take you in two different directions. And so one of them is something that you can't help with, and it's called time. Mm-hmm. And your time is an experience gatherer that we learn good and bad. We learn things to do and things not to do. I like to always tell people I learn more from my mistakes so that I don't make them again. Right? It's true. It really is. Yeah. Many of my mentors in life were people that taught me what not to do. Mm-hmm. Many companies that I've worked for, Fortune 500s, taught me how not to treat people. Mm-hmm. That has been more of an asset to me than anything else. So that's something that, unfortunately, it's time. We're old. That's just part of this game. Okay? That's the first thing. Second thing I will tell you is that one of the things that hasn't changed with companies and hiring is understanding. I talked to you a little bit about your story, but part of that story is the ROI. So that return on their investment. What do you bring to the table? The differentiating factor. And so as you go forward, every step along the path that you go down is part of your story that you add value to the next company. 25, 30 years ago, we would interview people and they would come back to us and say, oh, well, this person's only worked at the company for 15 years.
I like how you say that.
Yeah, it's like, we want a 20-year person. Oh, okay. I mean, that was normal. Mm-hmm. Today, it's like, oh, they were only there for 2 years. Yeah, we want to talk to them. And why is that? Because the way that information is shared is different, and it's going to continue to change. We know that because of AI, than it was 20 or 30 years ago. Right. And the way that we communicate with people is different than it was 5 years ago. And with AI today and learning and changing, you guys in this generation right now coming out of college, that opportunity is unbelievable. But you're going to go through a really unique change in the work environment, in the workplace over the next 5 years. And part of that's going to be, how do you adapt to the technology? And how do you adapt and learn and bring value to differentiate? How are you going to be different than this? Well, like we compete with a virtual recruiter of ours, which David and I will get into later because we just tested out. She's about to launch. We launched the new version on a test this weekend, and it was amazing. I mean, I'm so blown away. It's crazy. But we figured out how to adapt with it, and we're learning. And as an older generation who are the first adapters to like dial-up modems that you guys don't even know except from old movies and you get to hear it, this new technology and you embracing it, it's going to be so important for you to learn what do you bring to the table to differentiate as you're learning and going through that. So every step of the way as you go forward, tracking this information to present in a way to say, here's how I made a difference at the company I'm at currently. Here's what I know about your company, and I feel like I could come in and add value. Here's why I'm different than everyone else. We are going to have to do a better job as humans of determining, why should I hire you, Austin? Why are you different than the other 2,000 resumes I have sitting over here? And it can't be, well, I'm a good guy. I love that answer, but it's not going to make a difference to my company. Because if I'm hiring fewer people, I have to raise the bar on that level. Mm-hmm. So what did you do different? Well, I sent my resume in. I followed your directions. I showed up on time. I had an interview with you. I did a virtual interview, and then I mailed you a handwritten note. I'm going to tell you, that handwritten note and a little card makes all the difference in the world because we don't get mail anymore, right? And so one of the things I tell everybody, especially when they're starting out, the moment you walk out of an interview, the moment you get done with a virtual interview, you have to send, and if it's virtual, it's okay now. It wasn't before. You can send an email. That's okay. Send an email. You meet in person, you better send a handwritten note to them telling them thank you in the next steps. And at the end of that interview also, you should ask, hey, Austin, I really enjoyed visiting with you today. One last question. What are the next steps? I'd really like to hear more and move forward if that's an opportunity for me. Mm-hmm. Make sure you're asking. Make sure you're pushing it forward so they know. Do your homework also. You go to an interview, you get your first interview with a company, make sure you go to their website, make sure you understand the history, make sure you've done that history. And the one thing I always tell people too, especially when you're doing these video interviews now that we almost all do not have their website pulled up. Do not have it pulled up so that you're distracted while you're speaking with them. It's hard enough to keep eye contact with a person while you're doing a video interview, especially if they're wearing glasses and you're getting a reflection like I'm doing. But the one thing you don't want to do is have an interview with a person and you're moving stuff around and your eyes are shifting over and you're reading information. Go through it in advance. Spend some time to do it. If you have to put Post-it notes on your screen, great. But whatever you do, speak with that enthusiasm that you've done the history and the homework and you understand what they do. Because I've interviewed people and I'll ask them questions about our company and they'll be like, I don't know that answer. And I'm like, how could you not? It's on our homepage. I mean, I'm not asking you something on page 67. I'm asking you something on my homepage, and you don't know anything. You don't have a clue of what we're doing. So do that due diligence because they're trying to weed you out every step of the way. Remember that.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. No, also, I want to thank you for coming on. And Bill, he's going to be coming on our show next week to do the Ring of Hire show for just putting himself out there. And, Amy's
that's wonderful.
Questions for him to learn. And,
I said this last week, David, or the week before we were talking, and I'm going to throw it out there again. And if anybody's on here hasn't heard this in Austin, so that you hear it. Mm-hmm. Take your resume. If you don't want your phone number all the way over the internet, take it off. If you don't want your personal email, change it. But make sure you get your email on there. Take your home address off. You can put your city if you want to. Post your resume as an article on LinkedIn.
Yep.
Okay. I keep talking about this nonstop. I told somebody this today. They're like, you can do that? Yes. You need to get to 500 though. You got to get there. But you can do it today. You post your resume. You can even do a cover letter on there. You can put additional information about your background, what you're looking for. If you're open to relocation, put it on there. Make sure you got the green thing on your LinkedIn that says you're open to work, but put it as an article because LinkedIn, which is owned by Microsoft, this is an interesting story. Right. The article portion is open. It is not blocked. It allows Google to go in there and index that information. Google will pick it up, but not just Google. The LLMs will pick it up. Claude, Perplexity, ChatGPT. It will get it out there for you. Get a good photo yourself on there, professional looking, because it'll ask for one too that's required. The line right underneath your photo, put in your name, your degree, and then looking for a new career. I mean, make it simple because the LLMs are picking it up also. And they're indexing that information, and people are starting to use the LLMs, Claudes, the rest of them, Gemini, when in particular search engines within HR departments when they're looking to find candidates, and they will do a search looking for a recent college grad. Continue to post that on there. Put what you're looking for. Send me your link. I'll get it from David as well, or send me an invite. I'll connect with you. And I'll be more than happy to take a look at it also. Sorry, I can't do that for every single person, but I'll try. But I will definitely give it a look and let you know. There's a lot of great tools on Claude also, Austin, that will help you. If you put your LinkedIn profile in there, you can download it as a PDF. I don't know if you know that or not. You can download it as a PDF, drop it into Claude, and then just tell Claude, and I'm not endorsing Claude. They don't pay me and give me a free membership either.
Yeah, right.
It's just been the most successful one that we've used that really comes back with some great ideas. And ask it. Say, evaluate this. Tell me what I can fix. Tell me how I can show up better. I'm looking for a career opportunity. Give me some ideas. It will give you an incredible opportunity of ideas to help you out as well.
Yeah. And Bill, thank you for the great advice, and David, thank you for having me. Bill, I'll definitely send you an invite to connect, and I'll also send over my resume, hopefully for you to take a chance to look at.
Go to our website. So just go to frontlinesourcegroup.com, and underneath how to apply, load it up into our system so we get it in the system, and that's the key. And that's part of this thing too, is that you've got to get your information out there to as many as possible. The agency side of it, I think you're going to struggle a little bit trying to get somebody to take it on. You may not. I could be totally wrong, but I would look at the large companies going through their systems to get in there, and then definitely LinkedIn. And because you're looking for something right out, posting your resume and having it on Indeed is not a bad thing. ZipRecruiter is not a bad thing. I mean, you need to get it everywhere you possibly can, and you're not in a position to pick and choose. what I'm hearing, if that's the case. I mean, if you're not working, you got a degree, you need a job, you need it everywhere you can possibly get it.
That is. No, that's great advice. And no, Austin, I appreciate it, buddy. And I'll
Dice is another one. I just thought about that. Dice, go to get your resume on dice.com too.
Okay.
I think they're still around.
Yeah, I think they are. Okay.
Yeah,
all
I
right,
think they are.
Thank you so much, my friend. We'll talk to you soon.
Yep. Talk to you soon, David. See you.
All right. Thanks. Bye. Oh, that was great, Bill. That was great.
There's so many tools out there. It just kills me to hear that stuff like that, and you get a great education. Somebody paid a lot of money. And it's just, you got to parlay kind of that. And again, I don't know his background. I don't know work experience, but find something, connect to something. I've recommended to people in the past too, if you're involved in your church, do that, or a nonprofit. You'd be amazed.
You were saying that before about anything like the volunteer. That stuff really helps too, to put that
a United Way is a great organization to volunteer your time, especially like a computer skill. And if you have that, because first of all, you're donating your time to something that they're not going to ask for a ton of time, but you donate some time. They've got a board of directors, which means you've got 30 to 40 at least companies, Fortune 500s or above, within a town, an area, that they're involved in giving stuff back. So that's a great networking opportunity also, because they always will say things to people that are volunteering. I mean, they want to help out because others are helping and giving back. Sometimes you got to pay it forward in order to take those steps forward, which would be the other recommendation I would say to Austin, is that, sometimes you just have to, and everyone is different and unique, but an incredible education opportunity, and it's just taking so much longer, and it's aggravating for everybody. And I just wish there was a better answer. I'm sorry.
I've been DJing on the side for 30 years, and I do so many corporate parties for years, and a lot of re-business, and wow. Like just around winter time, I mean, I know all the HVAC companies to a T. So when somebody says, hey, they're looking for HVAC, I mean, you got top companies. I know what they're like. I know what their culture is. And then my son will be like, Dad, you should work for this company.
Yeah.
They give out so much and all this different things. And I'm like, well, Cash, I said, this is what you look at too, But what I like about, I get to see what those companies offer. And I'm like, wow, you get in some of these companies, you're retired. You're retired. Your 401k, what they do in some of the companies to keep people, that's what they do.
Well, and I just think that entry level, you've got to get creative. And what we're hearing and seeing, sorry, I've been talking all day, is that people aren't getting creative.
Right.
Instead, they're getting aggressive. And if you get aggressive, and I'm saying aggressive in a non-professional manner.
Right.
First of all, the conversations, and we're not going any further. Look, you call me up and start arguing with me. Do you think we're going to have another conversation? No, we're not. Right. And you could be peed off all you want to, but that's not going to do you any good. And so if you're really serious about finding something, think about how do you get creative, and these are simple things, which I've recommended to people. The new hire thing is a great opportunity. Look, you go and connect with a Fortune 500 company, or try to VP of HR. First of all, I'm not sure I can get connected to them. Right? Let's just start there. Right. So I'm not sure that they're going to connect to you. So that's just a waste of time. So instead, look for HR generalists. How about their recruiters? Right? Okay. But then if they accept it, don't aggressively go after them with, hey, David, thanks for connecting with me. Here's my resume. I'm trying to get a job, blah, 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 blah. They're going to say to you, hey, Bill, you need to go through our system. You need to go back. I did. Nobody's ever called me back. Blah, blah. That's the way our system works.
Right.
And then if you're like, well, that's BS and blah, 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 that's not going to do you any good, because now they have your resume. Now they know your name. You think they're going to call you back? No. No. You'll never hear from them again. Guys, there is a switch. It's a do not contact switch.
Right. Yep.
Boom. And you're on it.
Yep.
And it's not going to happen again. That's all. It doesn't matter.
I get those connections, and you know yourself that all of a sudden it connects us, then it's a sales right after it. I'm like right there.
Yeah. Well,
I might like that product, but I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm done. I don't like that.
I get the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And then I feel bad because I get emails from people and they get lost, or because of the high volume of emails I get, so many go to spam. Like I spend part of like at least an hour a day clearing through my spam. Actually, Claude actually helps me now to go through and clean my spam of what's real and not. But that's the other thing too. Do not spend the money and or set up an AI agent to send out these blanket emails to companies.
Right.
Because we get hundreds of these a day right now. Every morning first when I log in, it's just streams of them from people. And no, first of all, you don't send me your resume. It has to go through our system. Right. And also, I'm not going to spend the time to instead I have to move them to a special folder where now we have to have somebody that physically does that until probably next week when we have an agent that brings them in for us. It's too much time. I can't do that. And then how can we look at every resume? We can't. And so everybody's utilizing technology in a different manner. But man, I'm going to tell you, I am excited about our new AI recruiter.
Yeah, what's going on with that? That's
I'm excited.
We have, and he's got to go on there. It's one hell of a site. You know, I love it.
We're thinking about doing a name contest to name her. But we did a test this weekend, and she's been in the works for a while. And we did a test for a controller position.
Right.
And it was like 110 candidates that were pulled in, and launched it on a Friday. So it was over a weekend even, which is normally a horrible time to get phone calls, especially at that level of individual. She had 57 hours of interviews.
Just over the weekend.
57 hours of interview time over the weekend. And 30% of the people that did interviews were over the weekend between the hours of 11 p.m. and 3 in the morning.
See, that's what I mean.
It's just mind-boggling because different habits, well, actually, I think that went on through this week too. It was through yesterday, I think. So even on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, people were doing interviews. Late hours, they finally had time to sit down and do it.
That's asking you're putting in there what you want to be asked, right? All those great questions that you need, and the way you should answer them. Is that what it kind of does to weed out? She actually
takes the job description that we take the job descriptions in our system. She takes the job description and then created the list of the individuals within the system that met a criteria, and it was a wide criteria. Right. It was really wide, probably only theoretically, let's call it 50%, and then did the outreach. And then from the outreach, the people that responded, and then some people just, they didn't respond, but then she also sent an email, basic link. They could click on it later and say, hey, I'm ready to talk now. And then she'll do the interview at whatever hour of the night. It didn't make a difference. She wasn't calling them at 3 a.m. Don't get me wrong. They were responding back. And then she created the questions. And they weren't from us. This is because it's been learning the questions. So this will be version 8 that we've had now for 3 years. So she's been living and breathing in the system, but it's like the sister of the other sister. And so it's living, breathing, growing. And then, if they said, hey, my salary's this, and she's like, well, this is what the salary starting is to this bandwidth. Do you want to continue? And they're like, not really. Not a problem. And then went through a criteria and boom, boom, boom. And so then we get
brackets, Bill, that are receptive to that, do you think?
So I was really amazed. We had an 8% on this test, and they're recorded too. So we have the exact recordings, and they're all put back in our database because they have to opt in to allow us to do that. But we had 8% that said, which is not that much, they don't want to talk to AI, which I thought was interesting.
Wow. Okay.
And so, but what was interesting about it was that then she flagged it. We got the list, and then we could tell based on the level, because it was graded, of whether we should take the time to make a phone call, and we did. And they said, hey, we really appreciate, most of them were very receptive, like, hey, thanks for calling. I'm like, no, we understand. It's just the volume to do this and getting through the system quick enough wasn't able to. Bottom line, We ended up with 4 incredible I think we've got 5 that were sent to the client, and they were already interviewing like 2 of them. And so that's for that level, that was really amazing.
How do you prepare though? How do you prepare for the interview of an AI interview versus human? It's almost the same. It's going to be the same, right?
It was exactly the same.
That's what I'm
she
saying.
Sounds she sounds the same. It's just like us having a conversation. There were inflections. It's, hey, I can't really do it right now. I'm having to take care of my kids. That was one of them. Can we set up a time for next week? It was, and there was a laugh. I totally understand. It's not even a problem.
Right.
Let's set up a time for next week. What works best for you? No, I'm telling you guys, it's coming, but there has to be a human touch still. And that's the whole thing. Right. And she flat out tells everybody, I'm an AI recruiter. Like, it's up front. We're not hiding it. And then even on the end, hey, I'm going to send it to my counterpart, my human counterpart, who's going to review everything, and they're going to do an evaluation of my assessment and get back with you.
Well, I can tell you
if it's a good fit.
So I think once you get those videos down of both, because like I said, I haven't taken one on a serious note, in a long time. I mean, I've taken the voice.
I may actually have you do a guinea pig thing with us.
Yeah,
and I'd like you to see the video one of it. Right. The video is ridiculous.
I know.
And it's not quite there, but can you imagine doing a video call like this and I'm not real, but you can't tell?
I know, that's the whole thing. And I think that's why I love this kind of technology. I'm sorry. I'm tired of the old way, and I hear it. Everybody says, all the excuses in the world, but I'm like, no, there's something, it's got to change. You got to move along. You're going to be so far behind, so far.
There's still a human touch. There's still a human touch that's going to be there, and we're still going to be needed, and you still got to get to the point to get to have that connection. But as things change, everything's going to change around us. So we got to figure it out. But I just, these kids out of college right now, and I call them kids, young people, whatever. Some are going to struggle, and we've got a shortage, though. I mean, I think that's the big thing. It's a positive. There is a shortage in the workforce. So it's not, and I don't see anything really changing. I'm telling you, I know there's a lot of craziness going on. I wish it would be over and done, but it just doesn't feel like it. And if history repeats itself, and I've got 25 years of company history of a pattern, we're on the 4th quarter of a pattern, which tells me we should be game for 18 to 24 months of this continuous activity.
When you said about like IT, like years ago, when I had even the staff of my own there, if I knew IT, if I really, I need to understand it. It was so hard to find anybody. I couldn't find anybody besides being a passive search, looking for some people that are working. But now, like you said, it's
still hard though. It's still hard to find. But then again, every company's looking for something different, right?
Right.
I mean, coding is still coding. And it depends. Like, are you a technical IT or a functional? Are you into the weeds with code, or are you looking at it from infrastructure development? I mean, there are all these different areas. And so I don't know. The IT people too, you don't have to retire early. Like, you can be an IT person and you can still be 70s, 80s doing it if you're on track and you understand it, and you, again, like we talked about, come with that history to understand. It's like the AS400 mainframes. I mean, the fact that they're still around tells you that there's still a need. But this AI thing is going to be different. And all the different sectors that are being hit by it, like legal.
Right.
I mean, I don't know that people realize how much it was going to hit, but you still have to have a human look at the documents and make sure they're right. I don't care. We can't trust it 100%. I read a story the other day talking about somebody that basically created a completely bogus fake website about a product, and it was picked up and all over the place, right? They're like, it's not even real. None of it was. So at what point do we have to figure out which way do we go? And, we don't have Monster Career Builder like we used to, right? We don't. They're still there, but you know what I mean? I mean, yeah, okay. And Indeed and ZipRecruiter, I don't know. Got to get it out everywhere.
Do you feel like I saw an article, and I wasn't sure if it was real, that Glassdoor was above the other, like Indeed and some of the other job boards? Glassdoor?
Glassdoor is owned by Indeed.
That's what I thought. That's what I was.
Yeah,
they're
all.
How can they be above? Yeah.
No, what happened was when Glassdoor came out, it was like the hit of the town because now all of a sudden we can bash the companies directly.
Right.
And everybody got on it and you were protected and you didn't have to worry about it. And then we all got sick of it because it became a bitch fest. And it was there was no way to fight it. Very similar to Google reviews. And then during COVID, it kind of it quieted down, right? Because it was like, oof, this isn't good. And then now that Indeed has acquired it completely and integrated the whole thing, it's interesting because Indeed just removed, you used to be able to do reviews of an interview. On Indeed, how your interviews went. Now you can't, and so it's probably going to be over on Glassdoor. They're going to try to pump it up again. I think companies are sick of it, though.
Glassdoor, you were able to put a lot of reviews, right? That was a big thing.
But companies are sick of it. So why? I'm not going to spend money to post my jobs on a place where they're not going to be verified, and you're going to call these reviews. That's not going to happen. So you're not getting my money anymore. And so even Google has recognized it's a problem because they changed their stuff. Even for us, like we use a third party, the person doing the review is verified. It's a real person. It's a real review. That's what you want. And so when you're looking for work, you want to know it's real. That's why I recommend connect with these people that just went through it. Connect with that person that just got hired. First of all, they just got hired to the company. They know what it's like to go through.
Yeah, you see Second of all, it says I just started. If you see that,
exactly.
I see.
And if you're following the company, you're going to get alerted to that anyway.
Well, you know what helps me, Bill? Every time I see somebody open to work now, you're going to start seeing Front Source Group. I put it under the comments, and you'd be surprised because I'm like, that's friggin' genius. Because there's a person looking for work. Here you go.
Yeah, there you go. It's simple. I mean, you point them to the right place and say, that's here and. I don't know. I just have a lot of empathy for them, and I just think it's tough. Yeah.
Well, sir, we're over almost 50 minutes, so I guess I'll be talking to you on a new date. We'll come up with another week and a half or so here, and as always, I want to thank you. And Bill, I don't care. I love doing it at the end of the show, but I want to say what you do, and because I want to drive people. Everybody's it's like, anybody hiring? Go right here. So
listen, frontlinesourcegroup.com. So the name of our company, we're an executive search and staffing agency nationwide. We do things a little different because for you individuals looking for work, it's out of respect for your time. So I get this call all the time. It's like, I want to talk to a human. I understand. And again, we try to understand and help, but again, we just can't talk to everybody. So we built our entire system to respect your time. Just get your resume into our system. If you go to LinkedIn, follow our page. That all of our jobs, we feed through there. We post them on there. We post every single day on LinkedIn. There is something there. They're videos, they're memes or whatever they call them. I don't know. We have a blog post on our website. We post every single day. We put information out. We share it. But we can't help everybody, but we try to at least give the advice, and we try to respect your time. And then when we do have something, we're serious. I mean, it's a real something going to happen. And again, a lot of companies, we don't post every single job on the website, and companies don't. A lot of companies post ones that aren't real. You got to be careful, watch what you're doing. But we're in the professional placement side of things. So from CEOs, we do fill file clerks if that's what our client wants. So the temporary side of our business is on the contract professional side. Most are more consulting. Everybody's different, guys. Every agency's different also, and there are thousands of us out there. Just be careful. A lot of them will waste your time. You've earned the right to have respect, and we try to do the right thing for you. But visit our website, follow us on all the social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on TikTok and everything else too. So always appreciate the opportunity, David. And for me, this is all about giving back. This is about helping people understand and think outside the box, do things different. If you have ideas, if something works, share them with David, post it on there. And I appreciate every couple of weeks coming back on here and co-hosting a show with you. It's humbling by far, but an honor to do and help out.
You pay it forward. Thank you for taking time with us, and I tossed that out there. But you look at him. He came on there. You got to try something different. To get up there of being on LinkedIn. If one person, I always say it just takes one person to see it. That's it, and it can change your life. So
and those little tricks, David. Nobody tells you about these little tricks, man. There's not. Nobody's going to do it, and I'll probably get in trouble from LinkedIn at some point, but I don't care. I mean, for now, it's an open area for you guys to take advantage of. Do it.
Yep. All right, and I'm going to let you go now, Bill, because I know you're going to your favorite Mexican restaurant.
I am. It's margarita night for me.
All right. I'll be talking to you soon. Thanks, Austin, for coming on the show. Thanks, Bill. All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Yep. Bye.